Pumpkin, just me, Rowan the Witcher.
Hi, Chimibella here.
And today we're trying something different. We're going to play a visual novel called Cupid.
Cupid, a visual novel, actually it's called.
It's the first time we're playing it, so we don't know what's to come.
But it does look lovely from what we've seen.
So without further ado, let's get started. I love you.
I love you too, Roro.
I love you. Love you. I love you. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. A mother loves her daughter more than anything else in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gorging a hole into your leg. All because you smile at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it. You freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? Never listen. Serves you right for being the dirty girl you are.
Well, that went to 0 to 100 really fast.
Why don't you have to worry, my darling? It's alright. Even if the whole world wishes you dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side.
My goodness, child. Whatever has happened to you?
A girl was slumped in the doorway, soaked by the rain. Her legs were covered in dirt and blood. She lifted her head upon hearing the priest's voice and stared at him with blank eyes. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. She hobbled forwards, her bloodied legs giving way. Automatically, the priest rushed forward to steady her. Years of spiritual training had prepared him for the most unexpected guest to his church. He sprang into action. He ushered her to a pew, brought out some clean cloth and antiseptic, and began to bandage the wound on her leg. Yet throughout all this, he found that he couldn't take his eyes off her. He would be gazing at the roll of bandages in his hand, deciding how to tie them. And then, out of nowhere, he would be staring into her eyes. Even with all the mud and grimes smeared across her face, he couldn't deny that she was absolutely beautiful. How old was she? 20? 18? 16? Her face was so young. The priest had long since aged past his desire for the opposite sex, but somehow, something about her enraptured him. When he realized his own faults, he quickly steered his mind towards other matters.
My child, what happened to you?
She seemed to take all the time in the world before responding. He looked at me.
Looked?
He looked at me and he touched me. And then he started to kiss me. At first the priest didn't understand. Then he realized with a jolt of anger what she meant. It was happening more and more often nowadays. The young men of France these days were spirited and controllable ruffians. A lady walking home by herself one night would be prey to a few number of them. Lust. One of the 7 deadly sins, the one that the priest personally despised the most. Furrowing his brow in sorrow, the priest laid a hand on her thigh.
You are safe now, child. God's house is a sanctuary for the faithful.
I don't think he'll protect me. He looked at her in confusion. You see, Father, I have sinned again. Right there among the pews, before the altar of God, she bowed her head. I'm sorry. Was she apologizing to him or to someone else? Her hair hid her face and her eyes, and the priest could make neither head nor tail of her. He suddenly realized that his hand was still on her thigh, and he hurriedly drew it away. I'm sorry. She repeated this phrase over and over. After a while, the priest got up.
Don't fret, child. You are not to blame. I will contact the local constable, But in the meantime, you are free to make yourself at home here. I will fetch you a hot drink.
He patted her hand and left to go to the back room. She remained seated on the pew, her head bent forward. As the priest's footsteps faded away, the entire church fell into silence. Now that it was the dead of night, the clouds covered the sky. Barely a sliver of moonlight littered through the stained glass. The girl sat alone in the ring of darkness. She opened her mouth. No, I know. If I may say my piece, surely. Yes, mother. But he is so very kind. Okay, so we have to choose. So the options are: haven't you learned your lesson, idiot, or I fear for your safety? I would go more for the second one, personally.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what the mother's like at the very beginning, but I still feel like she would be like, I fear for your safety.
It's also like, it'd be less questionable in the future.
I guess.
Child, for the mother's words and leave. You saw the look in his eyes, didn't you? You cannot stay here. Even a man of God can stain you with the filthiest colours. Be a good girl and follow the mother's words. But it is cold outside, mother. The rain has not let up. Can't I stay?
Oh, I mean, I feel really bad for her. Like, I right now, what do you think the mother is? Do you think it's like a demon, or do you think that the girl's like bipolar or something?
Perhaps it's kind of like a voice in her head.
Like I
so,
said,
yeah, but
I mean, when I say bipolar, I don't mean bipolar. I just mean something. Like, I don't want her to go outside in the rain, but by the sounds of it,
yeah. I mean, we've seen what the priest says, but I can see why she would come across as like perhaps be cautious.
do we go with all right for her to stay until the rain lets up, or no?
Mini.
We're right. Let's talk about this, like, well, I was gonna say adults win or adults. Let's talk like,
Should we just let her
big
for now and see how she responds and how mother responds?
yeah, but if the priest gets violent, I guess he is a priest and they're in the house of God. Let's hope it's not tainted.
Hopefully.
So all right for her to stay for now?
I suppose you can. But you must be wary of everyone in this church. Do you understand? You're so weak, my darling. You give my heart so much pain. I'm sorry, mother. I'll try my best to stay out of trouble. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. My poor child.
She seems to be in this area now.
My stupid little child. Always a blight, aren't you? Whatever will you do without me? I'm sorry, mother. Thank you for always guiding me. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. Mother was right. After all, she was always right. Everything was her fault. Her fist shook with a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There is something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was the altar, and on top of the altar was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her hand, and the tip of the cross had been crafted such that it was razor sharp. She left the pew, knelt briefly, and then walked over to the altar. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arm trembled ever so slightly. What other way is there for me to atone? She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter, Mother is proud of you. Slowly she brought the sharp end close to her face, so close that it hovered just above her left eye. And then she...
Roro.
Yeah, this is kind of getting uncomfortable. Chapter 1, The Star and the Rose. A scruffy young girl in tattered clothes peeks through the open gates of Chateau de Sumer. An afternoon gotère was being held in the gardens. People from high-class states strolled around in manicured gardens while chattering loudly with one another. There were beautiful ladies clad in silk and velvet, their necks adorned with pearls and jewels. A variety of foods was displayed on the tables. The girl stared at the food. She hadn't eaten properly for the past few days. Are you hungry, child? Or we must not linger?
We must not linger, I would assume.
But then, should we?
Even if she is hungry, there's no way she must not be able to eat anyway.
Let's risk it if we must not linger.
Yeah.
We must not linger in this place any longer. I detest it. Surely we can look around for a bit. It's still a little early. There was something else that called to her, other than the party itself. She walked to and fro from the gates, peeking in the crowd, despite the urgence of her mother to leave. Just a tiny glance would be enough. The girl smiled at the thought of him. The owner of the chateau, the Marquise de Gaulle. The girl was drawn to him. He wasn't the same as other people. He seemed different somehow. He was kind to her and would always hand her food when she delivered flowers. Her heart fell at ease with him.
I do not care for him, maybe?
I feel like he's the same as everyone.
He's the same as everyone then.
I feel like it's more those love thing. Yeah. He's the same as everyone. Greedy. Insatiable. Maybe not for you, but for something else. But he's a kind man, mother. Don't let his kindness fool you. Sweet as tongue, tied sharp as tooth, child. She bit her lip. Why do you even bother with him? He makes me feel that there are still good people in the world, mother. It is hard to say. Or there are no more good people in the world, child.
There are no more good people in the world, child, is what I would have gone for. What do you think?
I was going more of it is hard to say because we don't know if he's good or not.
Yes, but as the mother of this girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there are no more good people in the world, but that's just my opinion.
Do you want to go for that? I guess we can take it in turns when we're down.
I feel like that's what we've been doing.
Yep. Yeah. There are no more good people in the world, child. The world has run out of them. All that is left are manipulative souls who appear kind on the outside because they need other people to survive. Ultimately, they only care for themselves. Don't you think I'm a good person, mother? Of course I do.
Yeah. Oh, we should back ourselves into a corner.
Of course, Charles. You're special. Haven't I raised you as such? I have tried my best, my dearest. Yes, mother, you keep me right. I love you. The girl stared at her shoes and looked around for a bit, hoping for just a glance before she left. And there he was. There was no harm in looking, she reasoned. She would never enter the Marquise's world. Let her heart be filled with hope. He tuned his eyes in her direction. Did he smile at her? The girl's heart stopped. Did he recognize her? She beamed. My, is this creature deaf as well as dumb? It might be, poor thing. Mademoiselle? Mademoiselle? A voice called to the rose girl. She gasped. It seemed that somebody else had noticed her presence. She turned to leave. No, my dear. Poor little creature. Don't run away.
Charlotte, she stinks. Don't touch her. Come to crash the party, little urchin. You hungry? I can't tell the difference between which one's which at the moment.
I think Courtleigh. Her stomach gave a loud grumble. She was always hungry, it seemed, no matter how much or how little she ate. Encouraged by the kindness the Marquise had shown her, the girl approached the woman. She tottered towards their table. What are you selling? Look at this poor creature.
Is she selling roses? These are the ugly ones. Well, these are all ugly ones. But not as appalling as the rags she has covered herself in. Are you trying your best to be this repulsive?
Now, don't be mean, Antoniette. Perhaps it's a common fashion nowadays. They laughed while gawking at her and her wares. Oh my, she only has one eye. Ghastly, but I can't look away. The other lady nodded her head. Like a sideshow attraction, you mean?
The freaks at the carnivals.
She's dull in her own dirty, monstrous way. Maybe we can keep it. Hello, do you want some bread, urchin? Well, speak up.
Maybe her tongue is short. Add this to the list of her starling qualities.
Quiet, Antoniette. Come on, don't be shy. Do you want some food? Let us hear you speak. Yes, madam. What? Yes, madam, I would be grateful. One of the ladies clapped in mockery at her reply.
Oh, she talks!
The ladies handed her the bread, but it was snatched away just before her fingers grazed it. Not before you dance for us first. Oh, make her do a handstand. I've seen one of those street people do that. Quite marvellous. Now I'd like to see that. This party's getting quite boring.
Well, come on, ma bait. Dance for your food.
The girl looked at the beautiful, cruel faces of the woman. That look on them. It was burning desire to hurt something, simply because they could. She knew that look. Before they touched her and hurt her, they had that look burning in their eyes. Oh, look at what you did, Claudette. She's shivering like a leaf. Poor thing. The lady was laughing as she said those words. I didn't do anything. She should be grateful. We're even offering her this much.
Besides, these commoners are supposed to be jolly in their misery. Come on, girl. Show us your joy.
The girl moved away as they laughed. Mother, please save me. Mother.
Did I tell you to leave?
To leave, yeah.
Because we told her at the beginning to leave.
Yeah. And also, we also told that people are cruel. So either or.
Well, I guess your choice to choose.
Just go with the leave one.
Okay.
Didn't I tell you to leave, insolent child? Now you call for me. Try to deal with the situation yourself. You have put yourself in this position in a way. I hope you learn your lesson. Hey there. A child's voice called out from behind her. It belonged to a girl around 7, with chubby cheeks and a look of curiosity in her eyes. She wore an old blue dress, somewhat patched at the corners, but kept clean and tidy. She was not rich, but she had an air as if she owned the ground she stood on. Another commoner? This party's absolutely teeming with them.
The Marquis loves these things. Heard he picks them randomly from the street.
Maybe I should get me one too. Do you think it is fashionable abroad? In his birth country, I mean.
Persia?
No, I heard he was from India. I heard a rumour he's a son of a Greek queen.
You really can't say that, can you? Nope. Goodness, this is so far-fetched.
I could barely pronounce his name, though. He really should change it to something more acceptable. Who knows what kind of demons he might attract with such a blasphemous name. It must be why all these nasty, horrid little creatures flock around him. Oh!
Devil or not, I'll forgive him if he kisses my hand.
The ladies laughed. Salop, aren't you shameless?
Don't lie, we all know why we're here.
The ladies gossiped among themselves, openly ignoring the girl. The young girl took the sighting with a shrug. She approached the table and asserted her presence. "What you doing?" Goodness, they don't take a hint, do they? Throw something shiny, might distract them. Hey, you've been holding that bread for a long time. And you're going to give it to her? She pointed at the shabby rose vendor. Why do you care? Do you want the bread for yourself? I bet she's hungry too.
I know, maybe you should toss the bread and see if they'll fight for it.
The ladies laughed to themselves. The girl stared at them with confusion. Her brows furrowed in a childlike understanding. Next thing everyone knew, she had swiped the bread from the woman's hand. Oh my! How rude!
Horrible, filthy girl, give that back!
The girl sniffed the piece of bread and nibbled at the surface. Yummy! It's still warm! She shoved the bread in the urchin's face. The scrumptious scent of bread flooded the roses girl's nose. Lick it. The sugared butter tastes good. No, you devil child, get them back! The urchin licked it. Her tongue was coated in sweetness. She stood there, squeezing the taste in her tongue. The girl grinned at her, and she couldn't help but grin back. Sorry, here you go, it's all yours.
Ugh, disgusting!
Like we're going to eat anything that's been in your filthy mouths. Whoa, so this is ours now? Your ladies are so nice. Cheeky little brat. I'll have you thrown out of this party. I'll have you. A young man strode into the commotion. A sweet scent lingered as he passed. The rose girl felt her mouth well up. His presence filled her body, almost as if her hunger was abated. She blushed furiously. What a strange effect he had.
Ladies?
Oh, said Guillaume.
I just came to check in on my esteemed guests. Is everything alright? Are you enjoying yourselves?
One of the ladies started fanning herself with obvious annoyance.
Well, these little beasts have been harassing us.
Yes, my lord. We were just minding our own business when the girl swiped the food off our table.
Horrible little nits.
The girl stuck out her tongue at them. A lady wiped her eyes in mock tears. See, look at that. It's absolutely monstrous how these children act around adults now. There's no respect, monsieur. A word for the next generation. Oh, Charlotte, don't cry. Well, my lord, we would all breathe a little easier if those children were sent on their way.
Yes, who knows what kind of mischief they might be up to.
They might set fire to the tables, you see.
Oh?
Or steal our jewellery, in fact. I think my pocket watch is missing.
No. How unfortunate.
One of the ladies continued her childish wailing. It is, monsieur. It's unfortunate how you allow your important guests to be treated this way. Please deal with this vermins. Throw them out now.
Oh, my sweet ladies, I am stricken with grief at your misfortunes. Allow me to offer my heart-filled apologies. Unfortunately, this child is my important guest today, and you are, sad to say, poultry squatters.
Excuse me?
Madame Charlotte of Mispronounciatians. I don't remember sending you an invite. Same for you, Lady Antoinette of Rennes and Lady Claude of Lyon. Most people I invite here are huge patrons of music. This is why they are here today. They came to listen to Mademoiselle Catherine Louise Perriette. She is the 7-year-old piano prodigy who played for the Queen last summer.
The man pointed at the girl, busy chewing her half of the bread. The rose girl just stared at the unfolding situation. Well, that's...
I am sure you were aware of that, were you not? No matter, I am always happy to see you, ladies. It is my pleasure to have you here. But I hope you don't mind giving some of the food away to my townspeople. That is why I keep my gates open. My servants are instructed to serve anyone who passes by, not just my guests.
But
Don't you fret, my darlings. There's plenty more to be served.
the ladies blushed in embarrassment. One of them began to fan herself even faster.
Excuse me.
The Marquise walked up to the two girls. The Rose girl's heart beat so fast it made her head feel light and dizzy. She had never been this close to him. It made her feel a mixture of fear and elation.
Lady Catherine, your father has been looking for you. It is almost time for your performance.
The girl looked up at the Marquise and did a little curtsy. My apologies, sir. I didn't mean to cause a clatter. Guillaume chuckled.
I saw the whole thing, mère chérie. You put those ladies in their place.
They were being mean to her. Guillaume narrowed his eyes at the quiet girl. She hid behind her basket of roses. She couldn't look at him directly. He was like the sun. It just hurt to be in his presence. Yet there was relief in her heart as he stepped closer to her.
I've seen you here before, haven't I?
The rose girl nodded and made a curtsy. I deliver roses to your house sometimes, sir.
Yes. The girl with the sweetest face.
The rose girl blushed.
I love your roses, by the way. They stay fresh longer than they should. You've tended to them with love.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have a name, young lady?
What's the matter?
It is all right, young lady, if you would rather...
Let's call her Rosa.
Rosa,
it fits her. I think she forgot her name, or she lost it. The Marquise nodded wisely.
A valid point. Are you all right with that, Rosa?
Yes. Come on, Rosa. You'll watch me play, right? Her eyes started from the girl to the Marquise. Oh, Sir Gilly doesn't mind.
Gilly?
He's really nice to me and my family. And he helps the people around town too. He won't throw you out. The Marquise held his hand in the air as if swearing an oath.
I won't.
See? Come on. You're invited now. You're my special guest.
There's plenty of food inside too, Rosa. Please help yourself.
Thank you, sir. Rosa is coming! Yay! Now this is my first public performance, Rosa. I'm a bit nervous. Catherine scratched her head. What will I do if I make a mistake? Papa will be very upset. The Marquise knelt in front of Catherine and rubbed her shoulders fondly.
You won't make a mistake, ma chérie. As long as you put your heart into the keys, play to touch your audience, and any mistake won't matter. Do you understand?
Catherine stared at the Marquise. Not really. The man chuckled.
You will, someday. Just play your first song with me in your mind, will you? Something that you think will make me smile.
Guillaume held Catherine's clear, young eyes in his gaze. He kissed her hand. It was covered with sticky sugar and breadcrumbs. Catherine blushed. It was the first time she looked embarrassed by anything. "It will be my pleasure, sir." Catherine trudged up the wooden podium and walked towards the middle of the stage. The crowd's chatter died down. She curtsied in front of her audience, waved to her father and stole a glance at Guillaume. The man gave her a tiny nod. "That's so beautiful." She sat down in front of the piano, admiring the cream and ebony keys underneath her fingers. Her own piano was broken and unbeaten. Father had sold his horse for it. The A3 key never played, and the strings would creak when it was cold. But it had never failed her. She knew the keys like they were her own fingers. She whispered to the new piano softly, as if coaxing a beautiful, untamed animal. "Let's be friends, okay?" She saw Rosa at the far end of the podium, watching her diligently. There was a renewed vigour in her blood. She could hear the keys calling out to her. A song that would make him smile. She placed her fingers on the keys. She began to play. At the ring of the first few notes, it became apparent to the audience that this girl was something special. Here was a little girl, barely tall enough to reach the pedals of the piano, playing as if she owned it. There were times she'd miss a note or two, but that didn't matter. She played the song to make someone smile, and it touched everyone present. Her musical skill was far beyond her years. Her fingers caressed the keys as if she was making a flower crown, carefully weaving the petals. She knew the correct way to tie the leaves so they wouldn't tear, like all smart little girls did. As the piano sang under her hands, Catherine seemed to disappear right in front of the audience's eyes. She was just a vision, after all, somebody leading them down a dream. A dream of a garden, the springtime, the shade of a tree on a windy day. The couples in the audience tightened the grip on their hands of their partners. Some closed their eyes and let the music saturate their soul. Sweet memories of youth. The first love. A yawn of a newborn. Rose's eyes shone as she stared at Catherine. Yes, beautiful.
At least we also know what happened with the whole cross thing now. She only has one eye.
Yeah.
The art is lovely, and if you listen, you can hear faint music.
Her heart was captured by this image of her. A young girl swaying her head to the music, smiling as the notes poured out of her. She couldn't take her eyes away from Catherine's glowing face. Was this happiness? Was this love? She looked like she was in love. And she was, wasn't she? In her innocence, she was still in love with life. In love with her family, with her pets, in love with every new discovery. She was full of hope. It was a bittersweet feeling for Rosa. A happy teardrop rolled down her cheek. She wanted to warm herself in that hope, if she could. In the audience, Guillaume and Catherine's father sat beside each other.
Sir Peride, your daughter is amazing.
She is, isn't she? I mean, pardon my arrogance, my liege. I am a very proud father, you see.
No pardon necessary, sir. She has found a sponsor. Has she found a sponsor yet?
The Duke of Versailles One spoke to me about it, but they have not made any arrangements.
Then I must steal her away as soon as possible.
Sir?
I'd like to be Catherine's primary sponsor, if that is all right with you.
Why, sir?
As to further cement my status, the piano she is playing right now. It is hers. I brought it for her.
Francois's eyes widened in astonishment. That is... Francois gulped. That is beyond generous, sir. Guillaume smiled.
Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. I took the opportunity of asking you outright. You see, the Duke might offer an extravagant piano plated in gold. If that's the case, I have no choice but to humbly concede.
What?
I am kidding. The Duke of Vastyria is the worst meister you will ever meet.
The man chuckled.
Of course, I shall be paying for her musical tutoring as required, along with an apple stripe to accompany your family. You don't have to look so surprised, Monsieur Perdie. Your daughter is a star, and it is an effervescence.
There is an effervescence.
There is an effervescence about her that enraptures the soul. There are no doubt in my mind that she will succeed.
Thank you, dear William, my liege.
Please, call me by my name, monsieur. Let me remind you that generosity isn't without charge. Her tutoring will be done at my house. I want to monitor her progress. Apart from that, I'd very much like Catherine to visit me and play from time to time. Music is one of my true passions. Her presence would benefit my mood tenfold.
Of course, sir. There is a small price to pay for all the authors.
On the contrary, monsieur. You do not have to decide now. Kindly think about it.
Thank you, my lord, Sir Guillaume. After the performance, Catherine and Rosa went to the Marquise's garden to play. Francois and Guillaume lingered on the table, sorting out the details of Catherine's further education. Émile Ferrier wandered around the crowd, searching for a familiar face. She had arrived halfway through Catherine's performance, just in time to gush at her little sister's applause. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her father in the crowd. When she finally caught sight of the back of his head, she approached him hastily. "Father, there you are! I've been looking all over for you." Emile stopped as she saw the man her father was talking to. It was none other than the Marquis himself. She fixed her hair self-consciously and curtsied. "My lord, pardon my intrusion. I didn't realize." Guillaume smiled at her kindly.
You are free to intrude any time, my lady.
Emile smiled back. Just as the rumour said, the Marquise was easy on the eyes.
To whom do I owe the pleasure of your acquaintance?
This is my eldest daughter, Emile. Pardon me for not introducing her sooner.
Charmed.
Guillaume offered her a seat. Emile sat down across the man.
Well, it seems talent and good looks run in the family.
Francois rubbed his neck. Yes, my daughters are my pride and joy. Thankfully, they both took after the mother.
Surely not, Monsieur Paris. The eyes are yours, earnest and loving eyes.
Emile snorted at such sappy words. Her father was clearly basking in the compliments. If this really was the famous Guillaume the rumors talked about, then it wasn't exactly much of a charm. He wasn't exactly much of a charmer, was he? She didn't know what all the fuss was about. The ladies in the house she worked for could not seem to stop talking about this man. Admittedly, there was something morbidly curious about the way he looked at people. Like he was always distracted and could only say words that were expected of him. "I'm pleased to have finally met you, sir. I've heard a lot about you on my travels."
All good things, I hope.
"Depends on the deployed and the day of the week," Emil thought to herself and chuckled.
You are a governess, I was told. Where do you work?
"With the Dimitri household, sir."
Oh, yes. I heard you were marrying into the family soon.
"Oh, bother, I told you not to tell anyone yet." "I didn't, but you know how people talk. Word travels fast."
Pardon the comment then, my lady.
"Please."
Your betrothed is a lucky man, I'm sure.
The conversation endured for the afternoon. Small talk, music composers, the little town. Catherine's musical background from Zoa's students, Emil's work. Emil played with her napkin, offering droll opinions on the particular droll topics. All throughout the exchange, Emil observed the infamous Marquis de Gaulle. This was him. The audacious, shameless flirt of the royal court and tabloids. According to rumours, he was able to bed both the widowed Countess of Devonshire and her daughter at the same time, and even had a tumultuous relationship with the Prince of Garnet. He didn't limit himself to royalty, or so the tabloids said. His latest fling was with an English poet, who they say almost killed him when he was caught with another man. Or woman. At this point, who knew what was real and what was a blatant lie made up by the newspapers? She had looked forward to meeting him. And here he was, finally. Talking about sampling the new bakery's creme brulee. She couldn't say she was disappointed exactly. But the Marquis was a depressingly normal man. Maybe even boring, Emil ventured. She watched as his gaze flickered across her hair and her nose before lazily trailing away. How infuriating. She wondered if he would suddenly say something coy, or insist to dance with her. Just something outrageous. Honestly, so she could shoot him down. This man whom everyone was interested in. That would be a small victory for reasonable women everywhere. But the Marquis was nothing but polite. He did not ogle. Oogle. He did not touch unnecessarily. No audacious gesture or suggestive winks of the eye. He would not even look at her for more than 2 seconds. Maybe she was not pretty enough to flirt with? Emil bit her lip. She shouldn't be thinking that. But there were also times that he would quietly look into her eyes when the conversation lulled. When the words spoken were without meaning, their eyes would converse further. To Emil, it started to look lonely underneath the facade of caprice. He seemed tired of all the gallivanting, the rumours and the numerous flings. He seemed tired of all the... We are all a little lonely, aren't we? Perhaps even he. He invited the family over to his chateau and commented on how empty the building felt sometimes. Music was his guilty pleasure. It got him through the cold nights, he said with a sad grin. How he wouldn't mind a warm soul to touch. And before she could stop herself, Emile had begun to imagine his lips on her neck. Ooh, on one of those cold nights. Emile shook her head, trying to erase the thought in her mind. They were having a perfectly mundane conversation. She didn't know where those thoughts came from. Fortunately, her father didn't seem to notice. Music and loneliness struck a nerve with Francois Perrit. He had immersed himself in his music, tutoring his students and Catherine ever since his wife had gotten sick. It had been 6 years. But sometimes the nights were cold. For Francois, the Marquise was speaking to her soul. He was a kindred spirit. Kindred spirit. He wasn't a pompous showboat like all the other royalty Catherine had played for. The Marquise even had a wine collection he wanted to show Francois. Such a down-to-earth, generous young man.
Emile, your face is flushed. Are you all right?
I'm fine, just the sun probably. This was not true, of course. The afternoon sun had already lost most of its heat. Thankfully, Catherine provided a distraction. She ran towards their little huddle and flung her arms around her father's torso, chattering happily about gardens and butterflies. A young ragged girl followed behind her. Emile wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. You could just see faint traces of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. "Hello there, young lady." The girl looked down at her toes, but she gave her a shy smile. "I see you've made a crown of flowers. You look very pretty." "Thank you, madam. Catherine gave it to me." "Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the name of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's garden." "Catherine, there you go again with your silly names." "Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us." "Catherine? Papa, please let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go." "Now, Catherine, that is not very nice. Rosa, here's a girl. She is not a kitten you can just pluck from the streets and take home, like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows where we have all the stray cats of France living in a house." "Yes, I know she's not a kitten. I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home even more so?" Francois sighed. Guillaume chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange.
Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Perrude.
"Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think?"
Huh?
Guillaume's face lost his casual bystander look. "You're a Marquise. I'm sure my father would follow your orders, right? Shouldn't we take Rosa home?" Guillaume's brows furrowed at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francois, who was silently pleading him with his eyes not to humour the child. He cleared his throat.
Well, I'm not sure it's up to your father since he owns the house. I'm sure it's up to your father since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see.
"Yes, but I've got that all figured out. Ever since Sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. And I have to wash the dishes every time. Ugh. Papa's so busy, and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear Sister's old clothes, and we'll mind the house when both sister and father away. She can wash the dishes sometimes, and I'll wash them sometimes. Guillaume and Francois shared a look. And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. Girls don't even eat that much. I'm not sure about boys. She thought for a bit. But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too. One time, I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much. Maybe. Guillaume couldn't help but laugh. Francois rubbed his neck in embarrassment. I'm so sorry, sir. She's very headstrong. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust.
Well, about that, perhaps if Rosa worked in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden on your family, Sir Pereed.
Sir Gilly's great. You are truly a kind soul, sir.
Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa?
In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. Although I'm still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sir. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I'm not even sure.
As long as it is consensual, sir, the details can be smoothed out later.
The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes, or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family, relatives or friends you could stay with? No, sir. Mother died a long time ago. But she guides me always. So please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September. It's going to be really cold soon. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. But Catherine... Francois sighed in surrender. All right. She can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place. Just because you want them there. Do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Guillaume cleared his throat.
This is sound advice, Sir Pereed.
Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make sure yourself comfortable in her home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Catherine turned to Guillaume again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? You should make it into a law. They'll obey you because you're a marquise. And because you're tall.
Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment.
Well, you're taller than my papa, at least. He'll never be a marquise. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sir. Guillaume shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Perrier family. Emile watched him curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced from the previous moment.
You have a lovely family, sir. I'm quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday.
He chuckled.
Maybe.
Emile's heart skipped a beat. But he just looked at her when he said... Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure.
Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I am very invested in her.
Guillaume knelt down so that it was eye to eye with Catherine.
Oh, so adorable. Adorable. I really do not like the way this is going though.
He patted her head.
You're a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. Mon étoile. Someday I know you will change the world. At least I'd like to see you try.
Mother, help me. My chest. Can't breathe. No, Catherine! So that's all we're going to do for this chapter.
Yeah, so I guess that's chapter 1 done. We'll have to continue with chapter 2 next time.
We hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see more of this, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below.
Yeah, and... Yeah. Sorry, this has just taken me all by surprise.
Well, until next time, have a nice day.
Have a great day, week, month, year. Chimi out.